It is that time again where we celebrate, rekindle, and maintain the spark of love in marriage. Of course, this is Love is More Than a Four-Letter Word. Good evening, Eswatini. My name is Mokat Nomfundo, and this show is called Love is More Than a Four-Letter Word, made possible by Eswatini TV in partnership with Big Game Parks, Eswatini Tourism Authority, and of course, Kia Eswatini. Go bold in the new Kia Sorento. Let us meet Mr. and Mrs. Mazia.
My name is Mazia. Born and bred in Big Bend. Grew up in Big Bend, but we live in Baban. Met my wife when we were still in high school, Form 1, Sisegelo High School. All the way up to until we got, so we went to high school, varsity in Johannesburg. Then we got married on the 24th of December.
My name is Fezile Mazia. Born in Mhlume, raised in Mhlume, went to school in Big Bend, and that's where I met my husband in grade 8, Form 1.
So we've been happily married for 6 years with a 3-year-old son. Hopefully in the future I'll be more. But yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. My wife is a social worker. Yeah, basically, I love my wife. Yeah.
We met on the first day of high school, which was orientation. But then we didn't start dating then. We started dating later on in Form 1 because we were still being masaba, and I think now we're going sabang mad. But then yeah, we started dating in high school, and then we went on to varsity, sometimes on and off, but then was Musisangulungulu, and we got married in 2017.
Now, Mrs. Mazia is a writer, a blogger, and a social protection and mental wellness advocate, which brings us to our theme today, mental health and marriage. Mr. and Mrs. Mazia, good evening and welcome to the show on mental health. Just briefly, before we delve in, why mental health and what does it mean to you being an advocate for mental wellness?
Thank you so much for having us, Mokets. Okay, for me, mental health is a big thing because everything starts in the mind. When you are unwell mentally, even your body has ways of showing you physically that you need to pay attention to your mind. So that's why I believe greatly in mental health. I did my degree in psychology because I truly and firmly believe that once the engine is not okay, everything else won't be okay. Yes.
Wow, sounds like we're going to have a good show tonight. Mr. Mazia, what does the institution of marriage mean to you both, actually? But I will start with you, Mtan.
Personally, thank you very much for the question. Personally, I just think we cannot take the fact that marriage is a godly institution. You know, I think as time has gone before and presently as well, we have taken it lightly that it's a godly institution. That's the basis of marriage. It's an institution between God, and there's God who's the first you know, between the two people before other people as well. Mm-hmm. So once you get it as a godly institution, then you are able to bring the aspect of friendship into it. The love aspect of marriage, it becomes the last part in this 3-cycle thing. So it's God, friendship, and love. But love diminishes. You know, love is a feeling. When you have God and you have friendship, love can come and go. But when it's gone, you still have these two that keep you binded together. So it doesn't mean it won't come back though. So yeah.
Just some days.
Some days, you know, you have. I think, why am I with this person? But then you realize, you remember.
Yeah.
You made a commitment before God, and you decided to be friends, not just only friends, but best friends. Then the love, it rekindles. You know, it goes and it comes back yet again.
Mm-hmm. What does marriage mean to you, Mrs.?
Oh, For me, I think there's so many ways that we can describe marriage, but give me personally, it's a commitment. It's a decision that you have to continue making. We would say, decide ukuthi ngiyayenda lento and decide a bit noma besibasoyithu noma besembi kwebantu or whatever, but it's a decision. So leyo decision leyo, if you're in marriage, I mean nasisemjolweni kulula vele kuzo it's over, I don't care about you, but nasisemshadweni it's a decision and a commitment ukuthi decide ukuthi siyangena kulento, and so we're going to continue deciding and continue making this decision no matter how difficult things may be and no matter how hard times may be.
So basically each day it's deciding
it's
to
a
choose
decision.
the same
Marriage
person.
is a decision.
Right.
Yes,
so now I get that so more than anything you guys are friends.
Yeah.
But Masani Bazala, you know, with life and everything that goes on in life, was communication easy? Was it open communication like that Ben Kona Jeguba lay everything out there in the open?
Please, can we be honest? No. No.
Why not?
No, because you grow. I mean, for us, we started in high school, right? We were kids in high school, and then we went through the phases of Gukula and Gashiana. Sometimes not so cooler, we go through my phase and individually as a woman. And the communication, you know, sometimes sometimes you know. And you make a decision to be, I mean, you know what, to simplify it for everything, it's intentional, even with communication. As Nihamba, the years in this institution, decide and be intentional about whatever it is that you do, including communication. But if you are intentional, we'll say, you know what, we want to communicate, then you figure out what's in the
Right.
And I think you learn as the days go by, the years go, the months go on, you learn to communicate with your person better than you did a year ago. So you know ukuthi mangikhuluma kanjena nemphwami angeke umchaze, mangikhuluma kanje damchaza. Baze basho labanye ukuthi there are times uyathi ukuthi umfowakho umngena kanjani, uyathi the buttons you touch if you want something, you know. So the communication, as I show Masia, it's intentional. You need to be very intentional about it, and it goes back to the commitment thing. You are committed. I want to learn more about this person, and I want to communicate better with this person. And with that communication, that's when imshado they go sideways. I even believe relationships as well. By communication, we've got a lot of books on how to communicate. You can read those books, but the one book you need to read is the person next to you, which is how can I communicate with this person? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. We are in for a ride today. But let me tell you one more interesting. If you and your partner would like to sit across me, do not be afraid. You can text us or send us a voice note on 7621 4888. That's 7621 4888. Tell us why the person is so special to you and why you and yours deserve to sit across me and share your story with the rest of Eswatini. Well, Masatina Mashle, we will be right back. Ngobanyalo, we're going for a short break.
You've been humming that song.
Riasipila.
Let's go.
What do you guys think about my outfit?
Palisa, hurry, Abatung.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Khaleki duti haye dibaka tena dingata
shabile fela ma?
Just a little something for you.
Kia, movement that inspires.
William Burchell, an English explorer, once said nothing but breathing the air of Africa and actually walking through it can communicate the indescribable sensations. Welcome to Mkaya Game Reserve, Eswatini's refuge for endangered species. Mkaya is all about intimate encounters with some Africa's icons. All travel within the reserve is solely guided by the open Land Rovers or on foot, providing superb photographic opportunity and probably the best chance of seeing the black rhino in the wild in Africa today. You are invited into an environment that is about creatures around you, big and small. Plenty of time to relax and indulge yourself in plenty of various activities. Scrumptious dinners and a warm breakfast is served against a setting sun and wildlife encounter. As the bush beacon experience dawn inviting into another perfect African daytime, join your dedicated and knowledgeable guide who will take you on a safari along paths filled with new sightings and excitement. A trip to Mkaya is a trip into real Africa, a soul of enriching quality experience you will never forget.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Welcome back. This is still Love is More Than a Four-Letter Word. Well, earlier on, we walked. Satsina. Sahlala in the blazing sun, mind you. Satsina, Sahlala and we walked again. So from that, I know I learned something, but I want to know, Mrs. Mazie, I know you don't like Tinkomash, but is there any lesson that you learned from the Nguni walk that we did here?
Perseverance. I think for me it was perseverance. Because I struggled with that walk, I think, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
You know, we at the end of the, not the end, but the goal of Lendlela. It was worth it.
Do you want to be real lobolat with those
with those ones?
Yeah.
Who
Mine
can
were
say
fatter.
no?
Mine were fatter than those.
Yours are better than those. He killed it. He killed us. So guys, I want to know if you understand and how you get to understanding your partner's weaknesses and their strengths and how you deal with that. Yes, please go, Mr. Mazia.
I'll make an example with the walk. I know my wife, she hates walking. I think the best walk she does is up the stairs to her office and back to the car. You know, she hates walking, she hates hiking, outdoor activities.
I don't hate,
So-
I just don't like.
Dislike, let's use dislike. So, you know, even though you know what she doesn't like it, but you want to enjoy it with her, you know. We are begetela when you're doing the activity. You don't force her too much. When she needs to rest, you rest. You try to understand and let's say be considerate as well of how she feels about certain things that she doesn't or things that she dislikes. And I think also on her part, she knows I'm a very outdoor person. I like the outdoors, I like camping, I like hiking. So she tries to meet me halfway, but even if it's not the halfway, she walked today an hour and a half.
She did.
And I was very proud of her, because she knows that I like it. But utawubona when her nose starts sweating, she's not happy, but she's just doing it for the love. So you compromise. It's a 50-50 deal. You compromise. You won't get it the way you want it all the time, but to make the other person happy, you just give a little as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see the teamwork. I see the teamwork. So, mental wellness advocate. Do you think that a person's mental health state changes after they get married than when they were still young? And how so? Does it change?
Yeah, it
changes?
Definitely, it changes. It changes for both
genders.
It changes. And Maggie Senje with us.
Right.
I prefer speaking from experience than just Jabo. With us, Nanisa Jola, it's just, you know, whatever goes, whatever happens, it's fine. And then you enter into this, and then now I need to mentally accept and recognize, we would say, this is no longer just a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this is now the person that
The
I chose
head.
to.
Yeah.
A whole entire fierce female, you must now acknowledge that there is a head. So it does change. And then you add kids to the mix. And obviously having kids for both genders, but I'll speak from our perspective, it changes a lot of things, hormones and your mental state and whatever, and that's still part of the marriage journey. And then, you know, it changes. That's why you constantly have to check in with your partner. I would say, otherwise, then this is a thinking of it.
You literally check up.
We're not perfect, but we try.
Yeah.
Yes, we try. You know, are we still okay? Is it still working? Is it not working? Or what can we fix? Or, you know, whatever. But yeah, it does change. And if you don't acknowledge the change, you should start.
All right. So, Mr. Mazia, I'm not sure if you're in the same field as her, but I know that she's an expert and an advocate. Don't you ever feel at some point,
Every time you argue, you know, it's a funny thing. They usually say Dogodela is the worst patient. Yes, Dogodela is the worst patient. So I feel sometimes Guti, she will psychoanalyze me while we're having an argument with her skills in the psychology field. Wow. So I'm not your patient. I'm not your client. I just couldn't mention
Right.
You know? And I think this is a point I need to put in. Recently, we discovered, before you get married, you do premarital counseling. You know, Kulma, you just spoke about the mental health for both people. We do premarital counseling. And we realized, looking back in our premarital counseling, we are so excited. We hardly heard anything. Premarital counseling. The day. You do it 3 months before the day. And that day is just a couple of hours. Then the reality hits in the next day. Send some shot to it. So one thing we realize, Guti, it would also be good if there was counseling. We do counseling twice a month or once a month, just to check up on our mental state, to check up on our relationship. Doing counseling doesn't mean there's something wrong with your relationship or with your marriage. It's just to keep you in check. The things we were talking about during premarital counseling, you don't really remember them. You're excited. Then you come to reality of things. And this is the first 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, babe, of a umshad are the hardest. This when you need to counseling, that's when your mindset changes, your mental state changes.
First 5 years.
Yeah, the first 5 years, I'm sorry. Everything changed. So you need to do counseling regularly, to check up on yourself. You need a third person, you can bounce some ideas, people who are experienced, and be intentional about it. And I just think to remove the stigma of doing counseling because your marriage is going to the dogs, but just doing counseling after you get married to keep your marriage intact. And that's one thing we've discovered, and we decided to let's try to do the counseling at least once a month, just to check on our marriage. And so far so good, it's working perfectly, and we are able to move on, Blomshad, and find our way as a couple. We've been married for quite some time. We've had our ups and downs, but we find it better when we do it this way. So that's how we keep our mental check in check, if I can put it. Yeah, mental state in check in a way. Yeah.
I got it. Profound indeed. There is a lot to learn, a lot to take from Bagamazi. Masatila Matle, please remember, Eswatini Tourism Authority is running a competition, and you can spend a night, like they are spending a night La Gamsholo. You can also win to spend a night at Gamsholo, Riley's Rock, Sidebe. You mentioned it. There are awesome prizes to be won in the competition. All you need to do is upload, or you need to follow. First, follow Eswatini Tourism Authority across all their social media platforms, and then you upload a video or a photo of your special somebody. Explain why that person is so special to you and why you would want to take them on a night away, and how you will celebrate your Valentine's Konala Eswatini, because we are promoting domestic tourism. But right about now, we will go for a break. We will be right back.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Hi, this is my bestie Linda Lamtande. Hi guys, this is my bestie Sakile Koza. What I love about Sakile is that one thing for sure, if I feel like goofing around anytime, for example, when I'm in town crossing the robots, if I were to stand in the middle of the road and start dancing, she wouldn't just stand there and look at me. She'd do the same thing, because I mean,
one of the most important things, she's basically my emotional support. So she's there for me emotionally, and I couldn't thank her enough for being that. So the tourist attraction that holds a special place for us is Sheula Mountain Camp. We recently went there, I think on the 1st of January.
Yeah.
It was to celebrate one of my favorite cousins' birthday. So I was just like, hey, I need my bestie to tag along. So then we went there. It was so beautiful, just to enjoy like the scenery of it, the fact that it was so traditional, and we could just, basically recharge and just be in such a quiet and beautiful place. That's one of the things that I think we both enjoyed.
Hello, my name is Sanziso Matsebula, better known as Sans, and this is my beautiful wife.
Hello, I am Nomawetu Matsebula, and this is my husband. The one Eswatini tourist attraction that holds a special place in our hearts is Malangelas. We have many great memories there.
Yes, we used to go for dates there before we were married. We got married there, and that's where she watched me perform for the first time. And yeah, the list goes on.
Hello, my name is Numalam Shabiso, and I am with my handsome dad, and I hope he introduces himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Sibelela Ngumalo. I'm with my daughter Mhlobiso here.
What I love about my dad, well, he is a very caring dad. He is a loving dad. He is a supportive dad. Never in my life has he not been there for me in any occasion of my life, be it my graduation from preschool, primary, high school. He has always been present, and in everything I've asked for, he's a very supportive man. I am so lucky to have you as my dad.
Celebrate love this month and spoil your loved ones with Eswatini's finest tourism experiences. #Love Eswatini, #Choose Eswatini, #Eswatini is more, #Paula Eswatini.
They watch. They learn. They imitate. Which is why you have to lead by example. The all-new Kia Sportage. Lead by example. Kia, movement that inspires.
Welcome back. We are still at Kamsholo Bushveld Safaris, formerly known as Nisela. Yes, Konala Epic Bend. It is now called Kamsholo Bushveld Safaris. They offer accommodation facilities, very relaxing and comfortable ones, scrumptious meals, game walks, nguni walks. There's lots to be found at Kamsholo. I know you want to be here. Don't make the mistake. Come here. Guys, I know I'm aware you also did the game drive. How was that now? You were not walking now.
A huge relief for me. For me, it was a huge relief. It was more relaxed, and I was able to see the scenery and appreciate the corner rather than having to walk. For me.
Do you see any interesting animals?
I saw a crippled giraffe. What? I'm joking, not crippled, but okay, I saw a giraffe. No, several giraffes. And ostriches and zebras and impalas and kudus and birds, but I don't remember the name of the birds.
Of course.
And trees and what am I forgetting? I did say ostrich. Oh, I saw 3 ostriches and they were fighting. I don't know, but something was happening with the ostriches. But yes, I saw a lot of
something
animals.
Was going down.
Yeah, no, something was going down. Those guys were not happy.
Mr. Mazie, did you enjoy the game drive?
I had fun. It's a great experience. Yes, we saw a couple of animals as well. Also, I think I love the fact that it's a conservative. It conserves the animals. So it's actually it was a great game drive. Our guide, Stu, was very informative. Even the trees. Actually, the trees were. Who knew there was information on trees?
Yeah.
Trees that we see every day, and it was quite educational as well.
He was even telling us the scientific names of the trees.
Yes, scientific names of the trees. Some are
speaking in tongues.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually real names.
So it was
Eswatini names?
No, English names, but it sounded like he was speaking in tongues,
Listen,
church
I
tongues.
want to move on with you guys. Still want to ask you my questions. The 3 main or important things in your marriage, what are they? Or the 3 most important principles in your marriage? Do it.
Yeah, mangafuni khona uvela abuke mina. I'd say number 1, loyalty. Is this per person or
in the marriage?
In the marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say loyalty. You can bring another one, babe.
I think not loyalty. I think the first one is commitment.
Commitment.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Commitment, and then I'd say the second one is God.
Okay.
For us, and I've said 2 friends.
Yeah.
One.
No, you're good. God, commitment, loyalty.
Yeah.
And communication.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah.
What is the golden rule then of the marriage? Uthi nasilala asilale singakodela ngikhalo lale sitting room some days.
No, kufuna sikhulume maqiniso ngithi.
We want to know what keeps this strong bond going. It's not always rose and petals, of course, but we want to know what keeps it going, because we can see you guys are committing in a day and time where people are not committing, they're just divorcing, but we're still believing in love because you.
Yeah.
So what is the golden rule, Kamazia?
Commitment.
Commitment.
Yeah.
And God.
Yes.
Really? I fully
no,
understand.
kunje.
Yeah.
Commitment and God. Yeah. Kunje.
The reason I say God is that as you get into the marriage, you get emshadweni, kumnanzi, you know, and I won't lie and say ukuthi everything was rosy and you know, it looks like everything is okay when you're at this side, but when you're at the other side, you're going through this thing. Lomshado, there's a lot that happens. There's a lot of hurdles that you need to go through, speed humps, and I think I'm not the only one who can say this. People in marriage, you know, we try to get advice when things are tough from people who have been married for years. Actually, hey, they've been married for 50 years or 40 years, but we still have problems. But it's the commitment, it's the commitment. But that commitment is a commitment you made with God first. And if you really believe in God and you believe when you make a commitment with God, you can't go back on that commitment, because God also makes commitments according to the commitments that you have made with Him. If you break those commitments,
Amen.
If you break those commitments that you make with God, then you expect God to break those commitments that He made with you. Because you first make a commitment with God, then He makes a commitment with you. So you break that commitment. Nama commitments will they, should God also break them as well? Or should He stay at high because I'm God and I'll keep my commitment? So Vela, He is the anchor. And you can't separate commitment with God and commitment with yourself. Yeah. So and as you start a marriage, you forget that. Until and you need to be reminded again. Why did you go on this road? Sorry for being too biblical. I grew up in a Christian
Amen,
home.
Pastor.
I grew up in a Christian
Go
home.
deeper.
So Umshado Vele came from heaven. You know, we don't believe, some people don't believe in Christianity and whatnot, but when you read the Bible, it came from heaven. That's where Umshado is a resemblance of God between His people. Uthi mina as God angengishiye bantu bami, you know, us being Christians, everyone umuntu othanzangulu angengishiye bantu bami, you know, and that's the same commitment that that we need to have. Lo mshado uthi mina lo mshado angeke ngimshiye lo mshado as much as it can be heavy, you know. So yeah, in a nutshell.
Wow, in a very wide nutshell that we appreciate.
Yes,
that we appreciate. Wow, wise words indeed from Mr. Mazie. Playback. The episode will also be available on the Eswatini TV YouTube channel, so play it back. Masatla, thank you for staying with us. We will go for a break. Askakret. Kumnanzi, I'm sure.
Begin discovering Begin to dream. Begin your SUV life. Kia Sonet. Kia, movement that inspires.
And in the beautiful setting sun, Gamsholo Bushveld Safaris, the Mazias had an intimate nature retreat. I would like to, because I was not invited there, I would like to know how that experience was for you guys.
It was amazing for us. Yeah, we actually haven't had a chance to have something like that for, I think, a good 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we haven't had a chance to. So it was quite necessary for us, and it felt really, really good.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. How was it for you?
It was great. Towards us though, I would say, as I would say, we didn't have a chance. We haven't had a chance to especially two.
Yeah.
There's a child in the spanner. He's always here, you know. You no matter
you.
So you hardly have time just to be the two of you. I think it's also just a lesson, you know. As much or more you can have 4 or 5 kids, just remember to be with that friend of yours. Try find the time. It's not an excuse. Everyone has 24 hours. So just try to find the time just for the two of us. You know? And I just think one thing, yes, we're going to try and strengthen that relationship together, you know, by spending more time together. That was romantic, guys. Come on.
Was.
Thank you very much. That was very romantic. And seeing the sun on their face.
Ooh, a beautiful face.
No, a beautiful face. That was romantic as well.
Of course, not dramatic much. Right, guys, but what are the worst challenges that you've faced and you've clearly overcome thus far?
Clearly.
You're still standing, baby, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. Maybe we can say clearly. Yeah, we've had, I mean, marriage is marriage. I think I don't know if I've heard somebody say there's off-ramps in the years when you get married. There's the first off-ramp at 3 years. Then there's another one at 5 years. Ganjalo, I think maybe every 2 years. But the first 5 years, if you survive the first 5 years, so for us, it was 6 this year. So the last
clearly.
The last 2 years were hectic for us, to put it in a summary. It was hectic. But
how did you guys overcome them?
I think we're still overcoming. We're still overcoming. We just decided, this is what we decided to do.
Yeah. I think we just became intentional about it. And we said, it's hard. It is no joke. You decide to be married. but you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
And people don't talk about the hard part.
And people don't talk about the hard parts.
No, they don't.
There's hard parts, but you overcome it. Number one, let me not make a list.
Yeah.
You remove the influence of friends, the influence of family. You just remember what you know it too, and you become intentional on making it work. Know it too. Remove pride. Remove udati. Remove all the negative things that make it easy to mess up something that was once beautiful. You remove it. And for me personally, I was told, do an introspection of yourself. And that's the hardest thing to do for any human being.
Of course.
I say, here it is my fault. How can I make it better? How can I make us go forward? So you need to look at yourself. Sometimes, if I look at myself and my wife, and see, we've made a mistake here, or we're not making it here, because of this and this. We're able to come together, say, sorry baby for this, sorry for this. Let's try move forward and find middle ground. So it's not about me pointing fingers, pointing fingers. It's a matter of pointing fingers at me, at myself. That's why I'll paraphrase. When I pointed you, the 3 other fingers are pointing back at me. So you need to do an introspection. What's it mean? And I think that's what do they call it? Maybe conflict management as well. You know, before you look at other people, you first look at yourself. Would say, what did I do to be part and parcel of thinking that we have, and how can I solve those problems? So introspection, then you can be able to solve whatever you're going through at that time.
And again, let the church say amen. Thank you so much to Mr. and Mrs. Mazia. And I know for sure I will play this episode all over again because, wow it was so profound. Thank you so much, Masatila Masha, for tuning in. This is Love is More Than a 4-Letter Word. And by this couple, Lana Lamusha, we've surely learned it is more than a 4-letter word. It is commitment. You commit every day to choose your partner. And then the journey will be beautiful. But don't forget God first. In everything, God first. Nothing exists outside God because He doesn't break commitments He made to you. Well, Eswatini TV and Big Game Parks is still running a competition. I would like to learn from you. If you and your partner have a story to tell, do not be afraid. Text us or send a voice note on 7621 4888. Tell us why your person is so special to you and why you guys deserve to sit across me and educate the rest of the country. Again, I'm coming through with the competitions. Eswatini Tourism Authority is running yet another one, spoiling you. You have to enjoy your Valentine's Eswatini this year. So Eswatini Tourism is running their competition on the socials. Log on to your social media platforms. Make sure you follow Eswatini Tourism Authority and then you tag them when you post you and your special person again. Explain why the person is so special to you and why you want to spoil this person this Valentine's. La Eswatini, we are promoting domestic tourism. Of course, kuhle kumnanzi lala sikhona khona. Ngijabulile kakhulu kuhlala nani Maswatini Amahle. Until we meet again next week, have a very good evening. I am out.